What a time.
R.I.P. Lil Fat.
Hey, R.I.P. Lil Fat. R.I.P. Lil Fat, man. Man, hey, I'm about to say,
Take me
man.
back to my senior year of high school.
Man, that take me back to a time.
I'm about to say, that's what I listened to before the Silsby game, the away game.
When
That's how
everybody
you
else.
got your game.
If you know, you know.
Jab
If you know, you know.
Jab.
If you know, you know.
Killing them boys with the cut.
Dude, that jab
Hey,
thing
if
was.
you know,
That jab,
you
that's my favorite thing about you. With that jab.
know. Hey, man. That's what I listened to before that game. Man. Come on, man.
Okay. This is TEP, Transferable Experience Podcast. If you did not hear the song that we was talking about, check it out with the DSPs, man. We on everything. Do all the things on all the things. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you do. Share it. We got the gang in here today.
Wow.
Ooh. Everybody here. Ed across from me.
Yes, sir.
Bull to my left.
Mm-hmm.
How y'all doing, brothers? Y'all doing right?
He a new age now.
Hey, happy birthday to Boo. We did it last.
I ain't the same age I was the last show.
Happy birthday to.
Thank you, man.
Happy birthday to you. How you feel? I know.
I'm at the point now, like, and I was at this point before my birthday, but every time around my birthday, every year, like, probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks out, like, I get to a point where I start like reflecting,
Yeah.
and then I start like thinking about the future and like kind of like planning and stuff like that. So that's really where I'm at, man, and trying to like kind of get it together. So my energy hasn't been as high as it probably should be, and I don't just like celebrate my birthday like that.
Yeah.
Y'all know.
You do.
So
yeah.
I don't celebrate my birthday, but mainly, you know, I don't celebrate my birthday because most of the time I'm like kind of like planning. So I'm the type of person that like I believe that what you do on your birthday is like it's gonna reflect on what you do that year.
Okay.
So like even like whenever I tell y'all happy birthday, it's like do whatever you do today, make it what you want your year to look like.
Okay.
And so, you know, that's pretty much kind of what I did for the most part. But yeah, man, I feel like a 29-year-old. I think I ain't never been this age, so
Still trying to grow into it.
yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. It's only my second day.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was about to say that. It's only my second day
It's only
here.
my second day out here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's cool, man. It's a blessing. It's always a blessing to see just another day in general, but to have a whole another year, man, that's a great thing, man. It's a great thing. So yeah, man, I'm thankful, blessed, happy, abundant, all of those things.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful, man. And you know what?
That was pretty deep. How you said how you feel like you're supposed to, like what you want to do in your years, how you bring it in.
Yeah, what you want your year to look like. Make your day look like what you want this year to look like.
Yeah. That's pretty deep. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. I don't know where I got that from, because I got it from somewhere. So it ain't like I just like one day was like up and like, oh yeah, this is how I want it. Like it came from somewhere. And I just don't remember what it was. But yeah, man, you just whatever you want your year to look like, make your day look like that. So,
That's interesting. I never took that approach. I feel like too that depends on I feel like that'll be easier for me if my day was like my birthday was like on my pushback on a random day. Because that time is kind of a relaxed time anyway, because a lot of people may not even went back to work around my birthday because it's like pretty close to the new year when people, it's that little in-between time.
Family.
Some people may not be back, some people still away or they still on trips so they hadn't really got back to work yet.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and on my birthday was on a Thursday. Like my birthday was yesterday. So
I was
like
born on a Thursday.
Yeah, I was born on Wednesday.
Me too.
Really? Wednesday?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Interesting.
But you know what? I was going to say this, like, because you, of course, you made another year. It's been a delight and a privilege to like watch you grow. Like as somebody else that's watched you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, you be in your own world, you live in your life, and you like, a lot of us here, I said a lot of us, like it's more. But all of us here, I believe all of us here are like very self-contained,
Yeah.
like where like my world is my world, and you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
And to watch you go and become and go into the man that you are, it's like, I'm like, man, I'm proud of Bull. Like, my mama asked me, like, man, I'm proud of Bull. Like, this what he doing. Like, I be excited, but like, man, this what Bull doing.
Yeah.
This what he got going.
I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, for real, like, I mean,
That's funny. I had a similar conversation lately too, and I was like, oh yeah, it was an old Earlton, but yeah, he been like kind of involved and into a new man than he is now.
yeah.
I appreciate that because I work towards that.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't got to touch on it, but we all know what
A
it
couple,
is.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
I was with you.
But that's beautiful. That's what life is about, is growth.
Yeah.
Constantly
Evolving.
evolving.
Yeah.
And it's just, it is a privilege though that we get to grow with you, because I always tell people growth is inevitable. You either do it with somebody or apart from somebody. So
But also, I look at Bull like, man, this is what Bull was taking serious. I'm like, should I take that serious? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I see Ed take something serious. Like, this what I should take serious? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's funny because it's really funny you say it because like that's a part of my like daily. We talk a lot, almost every day.
Yeah, we do.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, like probably like 3-4 years ago, and like before, a lot of my life was like seeing what my friends were taking serious.
Okay.
And
Okay.
saying like, should like is that for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, should I like divulge into that? Like, should I like get into that and like see where I can fit into that? And it's not until probably like the last few years, probably like around the pandemic, where I like kind of sat down and was like, it's okay to like not have all of the same interests as your friends.
Yeah.
Or just people that you like are around on a regular basis. Like, it's okay to say, this is what I like, this is what I do, this is what I'm into, and embrace that, and not like have to worry about if anybody else likes that. Because whatever you like, there's somebody else that likes it as well.
Yeah.
So if you that type of person that just needs somebody to like it just like you like it, like there's somebody out there for that. It might not be your friend, but they don't mean that they're not your friend.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
it took me a while to like come to that and like realize that. Because a lot of times like I just wanted to like be a part of stuff just to like be around y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like even sports, I don't really care about watching sports, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I get that.
At one point I did, but I was never into sports. Like, oh, y'all into sports. Like, I'd never been that type of person. But it's like now that I'm just like, all right, I don't like. I'm not even gonna try, cause I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like if we're around each other and y'all like watching some games, I'm gonna watch the game because I'm like, I know a good game when I see a good game.
Yeah.
But I'm not about to go watch, you know what I'm saying, a whole like the boxing thing. Like I know good boxers when I see good boxers, but I'm not about to go watch the fight. You know what I'm saying?
You know how to watch First Take and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. I've never been the type of person that watch ESPN all day. Like Lee is the only person that I've seen.
Shout out to Lee.
Bro, shout out to Lee. Lee is the only person that I've seen that will like have ESPN on
Never
from
change.
sun up to sundown,
Never change.
and will watch the same show because that's what it do. It just replay the same show all day.
Yeah.
Bro, we'll watch it every single time it come on, like it's the first time. It comes on.
Shout out to Lee.
And I tried that one day, and I was like, bro, there's no way that I can do
Sports
this.
Center repeat at some point.
Well,
Yeah.
it just
Once like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock rolls around, it just replaying what it just replay. I mean, it played early in the day.
Now I ain't gonna lie to you, when y'all had lost y'all remote and the TV was just stuck on ESPN two,
Two?
that was torture. There was a lot of poker, bro.
ESPN 2 is way
There was
worse
a lot
than
of poker,
ESPN.
bro.
I watched a lot of poker. I watched a lot of softball games. Like
Oh my
ESPN
God.
two was like
That's
the dump
different,
off.
bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's different.
ESPN 2 is way
Water
worse than
polo. I was watching like
Yeah,
so many.
Yeah, it get different on ESPN too.
Nah.
That one I just
That's
had.
too much.
Hey, that one I just had to find something to do. That was
But I do like that though, that we at our age where I think everybody kind of just comfortable being themselves. Even though they
Yeah.
kind of like it's different than the masses, but everybody just comfortable.
yeah.
And that's what I like too, because everybody like you say, we used to be a little bit more of a monolith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like even if you wasn't, you kind of just tried to like fall in line. But now I feel like everybody just comfortable being themselves and whatever they mean.
Yeah, and there's so many of us that at least one of us in the group is gonna like the same thing that another
Most
person
times,
like.
some of our
us,
brothers
like,
that they individual selves
Yeah.
when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, I get it.
But yeah, man, it's just one of those things, man. But I'm definitely like at that point where I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, aging is unique. I feel like I think that's the main thing that comes with aging. You just get way more comfortable just
Being yourself.
whatever that means for you.
Yeah. And like being okay with like trying to find what it is that you are into, or I guess find who you are and what your purpose is.
I was about to say purpose. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking about.
like I think I don't really like last year I probably was like more on the side of like trying to quote unquote find my purpose, but now I'm just like I'm not into that because I don't know, like I ain't trying to be deep or nothing, but
Go
I
ahead.
but
Go ahead.
yeah, like I'm not really into like finding
Go
your
ahead.
purpose because I definitely believe that whatever you do every day is like kind of stepping in your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what step that you take is a step towards what you're supposed to be doing, or whatever you desire, whatever your heart desires. Maybe that's not what your head desires, or maybe that's not what you think you're supposed to be doing. It's a step towards what you actually need to be doing.
Okay.
And so like I ain't into that no more. That's too stressful. It's way too stressful. Trying to find your purpose.
Especially if it's just at the forefront of your mind. Like, what's my purpose?
Yeah,
What's my
like
purpose?
like
What's my purpose?
is what I'm doing right now my purpose? Like am I like really like and there's people that's out there that's like really like that. That's just like, man, I don't think this is like part of my purpose. Like I don't think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So like let me change it up. You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel like. Oh, go ahead, Drew. My bad.
oh yeah, no, you get
No, I was just saying like those. I feel like it's those things that like strike you deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so I just got a little story. You know me, I'm transparent with me in the podcast. Last night I was up all night and I watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and I went to sleep like 2 hours, woke up at like 7. Now I watching a lot of comedy interviews, and I was watching like the people. You know the song "The People." This is street radio, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I watched the video and I started crying. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I was like, man, look how he moving the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watched a lot of videos of that thing, but that was the video that it brought me to tears. I went like boo hoo. But I got a little tear. I was like, man, that's life right there. Like that's moving the people, keeping them engaged. And like it was just such a beautiful thing. Like I guess because it was a beautiful thing, I was just like, man, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, maybe he was moving you.
And that's what I was about to say. I was like, man, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be like that. And as far as purpose goes, like I'm laying on the bed. I'm like, I gotta start doing stuff where I can like affect the people. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when you try to find your purpose, those things that strike you, because that struck me.
Mm-hmm.
That struck me so deep. And I was like, why do I have such a visceral reaction to this thing? Because I'm not care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to take it another way. I guess I took it another way.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, I rock with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I like. Don't get me wrong. Like I think everybody has a purpose. I think that
For
everybody
sure.
was born for a reason. It wasn't for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to like I used to like wanna like feel like, oh yeah, this is my purpose. Like you know, I watch a lot of interviews. I watch a lot of like stuff like that. So I like to hear people talk about like, oh yeah, man, that's when I knew that this was my purpose.
Yeah.
Whenever I did X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And so like I used to be like, dang, well, maybe I should like look for that. Like maybe I should like try to like have that feeling of, okay, I'm fulfilled every single day. Like it is what it is. And now I'm just like, man, maybe one day I'm gonna look up and be like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm pretty happy doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, like now I'm just more like trying to like do things that like just make me happy in general. So it ain't like, oh, it makes me happy because I know that this is my purpose. It's more like this makes me happy because it just makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like cool with doing this. Like, you know, this is like maybe it's a pastime. Maybe it's like bowling every other week, or maybe it's like going to like the mixer that we went to yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, it's just like I want to like make a conscious decision to like do things throughout the day that makes me feel like good and energized and makes me want to like get to the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I kind of piggyback off what you said. I kind of live my life like that way, where it's like, if this was my last day on earth, would I be satisfied?
That's a good one.
Like, you know, there's some stuff you gotta do, like go to work, but did you do anything that brought you joy? Like that you actually enjoyed? It don't gotta be nothing crazy, but whatever brings you joy. Like for me, I like to work out. Did I get a good workout in that day? Did I enjoy my meal? It can be healthy, but did I enjoy it? You know, because I like to eat. So it's like, I don't know, I always, like I said, I'm gonna do some stuff that bring me a joy. It can be like just very basic, simple level, but it, you know, that's why I say I feel like joy come in different forms. It don't gotta be like, oh, when you finally reach a crazy milestone. It can be just simply daily stuff, because I feel like, in my opinion, it be the little small things that just make life worth living, you know, and it's actually, you get an enjoyment out of. Like I say, for me, when the sports season, I like sports a lot, so just catching the game brings me joy. Like I say, working out and just like, because I literally ask myself that, like I live with that mindset, like I say, if this is my last day, did I do something that I enjoy? Like I say, and I feel like that's the key to life, just finding like those little small daily joys, because it adds up, and that's ultimately what adds to your like overall well-being.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, it's funny. I don't like sports, but I do. Then this is just a side note because you brought up like, go ahead.
No.
What I was saying was like,
go ahead.
I was about to say, you brought up like catching the game or something like that, but I don't like sports, but I do like the environment of like being in person at sports. So like a Friday night football game, and I want to go to one at the little high school that's down the street. I want to catch one day. I just like the environment of, especially like high school football games on a Friday night.
I got hit up about that the other day.
I mean, because I live so much in my bubble, I be thinking, oh, that's probably what people do on Fridays.
Especially now.
I'm about to say it's a large community of people that, like, during the football season, they go to games on Friday.
And we in Texas, like,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, so I kind of want to like look up their schedule, and I want to just hit one, me and Emery one day.
That'd be good, because when you do it, you kind of get a look at community.
Yeah. And what that looks like.
And you know what's funny? It's just like, you know what's funny? That's a good arena for that. If you're trying to find community, like go to the football game on Friday. Like,
I like seeing like, and I was saying that was like where we went to a mix yesterday, and like I was saying like that was one of my joys of it. Like I like seeing worlds outside of my world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I enjoy that. Like I need that to just keep stuff in perspective, because my world is my world. Like I say, I don't do that on a Friday night. I don't do a football game, but like when I go, I'm like, oh, so people be here. Like, like
this is their life.
Yeah, like it's more than me, because I was gonna go to a bar tonight if we didn't have to do this. Yeah. So it's like, I just like seeing stuff that's out of my norm. Like even like, I remember just like on some really, really basic stuff. Like one day I was going home, and it's a gas station by me, and I stopped at that gas station, and I typically just go home, change to go work out, and I was like, dang, people be here at this time. People doing different stuff than me. Like I just like seeing, or like when I go run on my jog and on the trail, I just see people and I'm like, oh, like, cause like I said, I'm, you know, as a single man with no family out here, I very much so be in my world and like what's going on in me. So it's like it's just nice to see stuff outside of me that's going on simultaneously. Cause it's like, yeah, I'm doing this, but also something else is going on right now too. So I don't know. I just like getting outside of myself. I know I said that a lot, but that's like a true joy for me to get outside of myself.
Yeah. And I agree with that. Like especially like being at the mixer, it was like a big thing to like not only like see people doing like stuff in the industry that I'm in, but like seeing people that like the dude that came up, he was still in school and he was just trying to find an internship. And so like just seeing people go through things where it's like I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? And you being here is more than what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's one that's like kind of inspiring, but two is like that kind of made me feel like okay, I'm like kind of in the right place as well. Maybe I can tell him something. You know what I'm saying that wasn't told to me. But just seeing people at just like different levels, seeing how people like, you know, I'm not the most like outgoing person in the world. Like I'm not the most extroverted person in the world, but just seeing people like, I can like read people really well, and just seeing people like walk up to other people, but can tell that they like nervous to like say something. You know what I'm saying? Because they're more comfortable with people coming up to them, kind of like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't walk up to nobody at no point in time. You know what I'm saying? But everybody that I talked to came up to me, or me and Ed were talking, they came up to us. But I'm a good like once we are talking, like I can hold the conversation. I know how to like engage you. I know how to like let's talk about you. Let me ask you about you to make you feel better. And then when you feel better, that makes me feel better. And then we can, you know what I'm saying, exchange the conversation. So that happened a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just really good to like be in that situation, and that made me like kind of want to go back the next time and say, okay, now that I know how it is, like I can like continue to do this and like kind of, you know, just get better at it and use that as like a practicing rink. Or
You know what made me like think to myself too? I was like, what is it? Cause you know, like at the mixer we was at, we wore stuff that distinguished like what we was there for. Like if you was there to hire, network, or looking for a job. So that's what made me wonder too, like what like made people want to come and like talk to, not to say it was like a massive crowd, and I'm not saying that, but to just like
to come talk to us.
Yeah, because I was like, is it like we just had like an approachable innocence where it was like, oh yeah, it looked like they just, you know, here like regular people too, like it ain't.
Yeah.
Because that would make me think about that too. At one point, I was like,
and we weren't suited and booted.
I was like, see, do we look lost? Do we look like what is it where it's like, oh, I think I can talk to them dudes.
Yeah, maybe it was what we were wearing, because like I had like a collared shirt on, and it was tucked in, and you had like more of like the bottoms were like, you had like the loafers on and the pants, but the top was kind of like a more like casual but you know what I'm saying? So maybe it was like more of that, because a lot of people weren't going up to the people who had like suits on unless they were like kind of dressed up like that. So you can kind of see the people who are around each other were kind of like dressed alike in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's like, if you're dressed how I'm dressed, then we're kind of here for the same thing. So I can kind of like, I can't find the word right now, but like I can relate to that. That's
what we look a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, like that's what it is.
I can resonate with you.
I was like, oh yeah, he was like just a comedy
exactly.
Man.
Like so that the dude that came up to us before I went to that headshot, he had like a button down on, but it was like more of like a relaxed button down.
Like more of a relaxed gentleman.
Right. And so and then the dude that was in school, he walked up to us too. So but it was just like, I think that's kind of what it was too. Like whenever I looked around, that's what I seen. Like either people that came there together, or like the people who were talking to each other looked similar. You know what I'm saying, in a way. And I definitely seen that. So and I understood that because I didn't walk up to nobody that had no suit on because I didn't have a suit on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm like, we here for two different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, but next time I'm definitely going
Just suited and booted, no top and suited.
It's straight business.
Straight business.
But I don't know, that environment, like I was saying, it felt empowering, and it made me feel warm that like knowing that like people that look like me in these spaces.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I only know what I see, and I don't just be around that. So it felt very good to know that okay, we represented in more areas than I think we are.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the percentage that we should be, but we are there.
We are there.
And I was like, okay, that's the start. You gotta get in, and then you build from there. But it really did feel like a nice, empowering environment. It felt good to see my brother talk his talk, man, because he was saying stuff. And then at one point they got into their little tech bag. He looked at the other guy looked at me and said, "You probably don't know what we talking about." I was like,
Screw you, yeah.
I got a basic knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't, but it sounds good.
I was about to say,
Don't be trying to
Don't do that.
Don't be trying to
I
sell
was about to
me.
say, after dude said that's funny. After dude said that somebody else walked up and he started, I learned a little bit of SQL.
Yeah,
I was like, there you
don't
go.
play with me like
I was like,
that.
there you go.
Don't
Say
play with
something.
me like
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
I didn't, but it sounded
Yeah.
good. You don't got to do that to me.
But-
Don't single me out.
But a lot of times, like, even with me, like, you know what I'm saying? He said I was like talking my talk, but like last year, I wouldn't, like, I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel confident enough, even with what I knew, and even with the experience that I had.
Okay.
I couldn't, like, I didn't feel confident enough to like talk the talk that I was talking this time. So whenever I'm talking like, systems or software and things like that, or if somebody's in a whole different like place than me, I can still like confidently say, oh, I know what that is. You talking about back end AWS, or maybe this is this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
It was a lot of this for me.
Just not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
No, you got it. You got to be
I ain't gonna speak on nothing I don't know now. But
Yeah.
I'll listen.
Yeah.
And be
sure.
engaged.
But
attentively.
but also like it was a lot of conversations that I had where it was like I didn't know what he was talking about. But I'm like kind of like you. I'm a conversationalist, so I can navigate and I can hear something that you say, and I know a little bit about a lot. I don't know about everything, but I'm like a jack of all trades. You know what I'm saying? And so and I feel I'll hear something and I'll be like, okay, I know what that is. That's this and that. So, and I'll build off of that. Instead of letting him go into a conversation about something I don't know about, let's talk about what I do know about.
Yeah.
So that this conversation can be more like level. It's still on my level. You know what I'm saying?
Fluid.
Right.
I just like to see how the way people navigate conversation, because it just brought me to that one guy that came and, like you said, the dude that was casual and relaxed, but the way he framed the conversation when I left, I was like, it was almost like an interview, but he did a good job navigating conversation. And I think it's an art to just knowing how to like talk to people and just navigate. Because you remember that guy when we were somebody that was kind of relaxed when he came.
Yeah.
He was an engineer, but he was saying he like developed.
He was like at Intel.
Something, some type of chips.
Like he wasn't in tech, but he was like not a manufacturing engineer or something like that, but like he got on somewhere at a tech company.
Yeah, so
he
he developed tech,
around.
but he an engineer more. But like just the way he'd ask questions and then like he like when he left that conversation, I was like, it was almost like an interview, but he controlled the conversation. Like he established what he know, but related it to how it's pertaining to this, but then steered and like asked what he did his thing. He navigated that conversation.
And it's funny because
I would like to meet that nigga.
Yeah,
because when I left, I was like, dang, you did that.
Yeah,
like,
and right.
It felt like I almost was interviewed for a job. Did you say right when what?
Oh, right before we went there, like I was like looking at like some videos on some tech stuff or whatever, and the video came up talking about like how to like be comfortable whenever you are in those type of situations. And it's like basically go up to people, not like thinking about yourself in a situation, but thinking about like how you can help the person that you come into, and that's basically how he did it. It was like, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? And instead of like making it sound like super fancy, like, oh man, I can't mess with this dude because he do this. It was like,
right.
he made it like more relatable.
And I'm saying he related to every person in the group. Because even me, when he came to me, he was like, oh, so I know someone that does that. So how does this and this and he,
Right.
He like
He did that.
he was in control of the conversation, but everybody was involved. But it was like everybody was talking to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
So he commanded the room.
yes, but in a very like
Pleasant way.
yeah, it wasn't like a
Yeah.
I'm sticking my chest out.
It
Like,
wasn't bravado.
it was like,
bravado.
hey, how are you guys? It was very humble,
Yeah.
like, but
It was very
he
charismatic.
controlled the conversation though.
Yeah.
I like
He
this.
worked it. Like I said,
I like this.
when he left, I told her, I was like, dang man, I almost felt like I was on an interview, but a casual one. But he was so in control of the conversation, and I was like,
Yeah.
when I see stuff like that, I like to pick up on that and be like,
Like how he do that.
I aspire to do that to where you control it, but it ain't overpowering. Everybody feel involved because like he like found a common denominator with everyone in it. Like
That's what I was about to
no
ask.
one
That's
felt
what I was
left
about
out.
to ask you. I was about to ask you, he acknowledged everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't because sometimes that's what people get guilty of, like the person they connect the most with.
They just locked
And
him.
like I say, as a man that was a standby in something that wasn't in his industry, I witnessed it a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
But he,
I walked away a lot. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
but like I say, but he made everybody like even
Feel seen.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah,
did.
no,
And I
he
was,
did.
and like I say, I just like to learn when I can. I was like, that's what I picked up on. Like, you need to like talk to everybody because it was like specialized stuff for each individual and like just group like questions. And then like he navigated very well.
Really?
Very.
Yeah,
very
and he
well.
like walked straight up to us and was like it wasn't.
And it was about a group of. It was about.
It
three
was
of us
me.
at that
It
time.
was me and you at first, and then
Yeah,
as he was
okay.
talking, the dude that was still in school
Yeah.
walked up
Okay, yeah,
again, and then he started talking to him, and we walked away. But yeah, he walked up with like a lot of confidence, like, and he just kind of like he worked his jelly, man, and
Simply
he,
put.
yeah, he did a really good job with that, and so.
I like that.
It wasn't too much of anything, bro.
Yeah.
It was pleasant, but not like too much. But it wasn't like it was just
Yeah.
perfect amount of everything.
Yeah.
Like if did he say it was his first one?
Yeah, that was the first time.
Okay, and I see how he got to where he is in life with his job because he know how to like connect stuff when it ain't even. Or
He can work around. He can work
He can
around.
work around.
He can work around.
And a very, but like it's not like a
Condescending, not condescending.
or like a very like some people that's extremely extroverted and they making everybody like you can see clearly when somebody is the center of attention. You wouldn't tell that from him.
Yeah.
Like he controlled it in a very like. As I'm talking about it more, it's a lot of that I'm gonna steal from him because like the way he did it was very smooth.
I love, because this is the kind of guy I aspire to be.
I'm about to say, the next time I go, I'm like, a lot of the stuff that I've seen, I'm like taking from him, and then I'm applying it.
A lot.
But just with a suit on. I just want to say.
Like I say, if I go to a group, I'm gonna acknowledge everybody and find a common denominator with everybody and talk to everybody, ask them questions, but then retain what you learn from him, ask them specific to him, something specific to him, something specific to him. He did that.
Another thing that I learned, because at one point in time, like I was like so like into like reading that I was just reading so much stuff and retaining so much information, and so like the book seven things or 7 rules to influence people and something.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all probably know what book.
Oh yeah, the 7 effective habits.
It's yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
So
effective people wanted it to.
Hallelujah.
yeah. So there's
I think they made us read that in high school.
yeah. So that book.
Class.
What I got from that is exactly what he did. Right? The only thing that was missing was saying my name 3 times. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that I was like in a point in my life I took a lot from that, and that's how I like maneuvered and pushed myself outside my comfort zone. And this is what I was telling my lady last night when we left. I was like, I noticed that I used to and I don't like to be like a used to type of dude, but I used to like push myself outside my comfort zone on purpose so that I can be more comfortable in those situations, right? So like I would go to places that I usually wouldn't go to so that I can like talk to certain people and like walk up to people and stuff like that. And getting home like that, and even on the ride home, you know, I had a ride home. Yeah. So on the ride home and when I got home, like I had time to think about that, and I was like, you know, that made me excited because it was like, typically I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was really up to me, I wouldn't like go out my way to like go to something where I don't know nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it might help me, it's just like, man, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll
because
go
it's uncomfortable.
Because it's very uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I'm a very introverted person.
Yeah.
But at one point, I would tell people, like, if I'm working with somebody, or even like the CEO of the credit union that I used to work at, I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm like very introverted, you know what I'm saying, outside of work. And she was like, you? Because I know everybody's name. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to everybody. Everybody knows who my name is. Everybody knows my face. When I come in the room, I speak to each person that's in the room. I have a conversation with them. Oh, how's your daughter doing? Oh, wasn't she like in ballet? How was the concert? Like, I'm like that charismatic. And at a certain point in time, I like kind of left that and was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want it. I don't even care no more. You know what I'm saying? And it was around like the pandemic where it was like, people wasn't even talking to people anyway, where it was like the great divide at that point. You know what I'm saying? So
it was hard for people like me.
Right. And honestly, like,
and we was flourishing.
Yeah.
That happened.
Right, yeah. We was just like in our moment. Like that was like perfect for us. Which is why like it's really easy for me like working from home, not seeing people in person, to be able to be in touch. Exactly. But I like last night, what last night taught me was you need both.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
You need both. You know what I'm saying? It ain't one or the other, it's both. You know what I'm saying? Because especially like you only 3 to like 6 interactions away from your next big opportunity.
Right.
And that's what last night like really like instilled in me, or like that's what I took away from last night, was just like, I need to do more of this.
Yeah, and I think too, to make a call back, like when I was saying I want to come warm, pause. That was a perfect example of when I could have implemented that. Did I?
It was.
Yes.
No, but 2, for me, as far as like also helping me in my growth that I would like to see in myself as a person, is being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And that was an example, because me personally, I feel more empowered when I can speak on stuff I know.
Yes.
And being in something that's like completely outside of my industry, that'll help me grow if I keep going to those where it's not my industry, and I'm just like I said, being a master of conversation, like that gentleman we were just referring to. If I can like successfully navigate that, then when something finally do come up for my industry, different type of animal, when I done mastered knowing how to just like talk to people and stuff and have meaningful conversations to something that ain't mine. So that's why I say for me, like I was like, like we were talking, like I'm definitely gonna go to the other one, because that's like helping me in just my personal development, not necessarily my professional development, which possibly
maybe, you know what I'm saying,
but more so for me, I'm looking at that like when purely for networking, because I need this for my personal development. Being outside of my element, being outside of my comfort zone. And, like I said, for me, I only like talking about stuff I know, but learning how to like even navigate and talk about stuff that I don't know. That's why I say I think that's all part of my personal development that I want to see in myself. So that's why for me it's important for me to go to things like that.
Yeah, that's good. And I was gonna say, well, before I say that, it's like, do you want to let people know what y'all went to? Because y'all didn't really say it. I mean, we got people listening.
Yeah. Well, it's called, it's the a tech mixer by Mixer Cloud, MIXERCLOUD. And that's their handle on Instagram as well. They have it, I want to say, every last Thursday of every month. But if it's not every last Thursday, they'll post it on their page every single.
Oh yeah, and that's a Dallas-based event.
And it's Dallas based, yes, yeah. But it's basically an event where you know, people in tech that's in the area meet up. You know, there's drinks, they have hors d'oeuvres, they have like giveaways, and you just network. You talk to people that's in your in your industry or outside of your industry, whatever it is. But it's just somewhere to go to just meet people and just grow your network. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're only 3 to 6, you know, interactions away from your next big opportunity. So if you in tech or if you're not in tech, if you looking to get into tech, that's something to get into. I like, especially if you like a person of color. If you black, it was 99% black.
It was.
I might have met like 1 or 2 people that weren't black. So that's something good that you should get into. But just if you're a professional, like I seen somebody in scrubs walking through that thing with a name tag on, and her name wasn't written on there. Like she registered for it on time. So it's like
that'll be me.
Yeah, like that's
walking in with a tube bill.
Yeah,
still time.
Yeah, but like it's for anybody, everybody.
And it was nice too because it was like a lot of I would say probably about 90% young professionals in there.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to be around people that look like you.
Yeah.
In every capacity, from age to.
I like that.
Like it was nice, bro. Like I was like,
I like that.
I like that people put that kind of stuff on because just imagine like before this, you wouldn't know until you maybe get to another job and see somebody that look like you. So like,
because
I'm grateful for things like that. Yeah.
Because so many other demographics, I guess I say, they have those type of things where like you get to know like, oh, this is such and such, he the head of this, blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Where you met him at? You met him at that. You know what I mean? Like, and then we can cultivate something like that. I think that would make us like stronger, like and be a resource to each other. That's the main thing.
Right.
Be a resource to each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
That's what I like about that.
And it's very inspiring to like I said earlier, like going to things like that, seeing people who are where I was last year. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then for them to see me and me say, you know, like one guy, I don't know if you remember, one guy was like, yeah, you know, I went to this school, I do this right now, I've been in this for this long. What school did you go to? I don't have a degree. Oh man, more power to you.
Yeah, he was taken aback by that.
Yeah. And I was like, man, you don't really need a degree for this, like, and you really don't need a degree for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, talking. He's like, man, like that's crazy. Like, man, more power to you, man. I'm glad to hear that. Like, but that might have made him feel, you know, kind of inspired. But that made me feel good for him to be like, acknowledge that and be like, oh man, like for you to be in this industry and not have to go through 4 years of. That's like something that like kind of put the hit the nail on the head because it's like for me I go back and forth on that a lot. You know what I'm saying, man? Maybe I should go back to school. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I just need that piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? But being able to like hear that and then the situation that I'm in even right now, just moving through my career and knowing that like I'm him, like for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just the interactions that I've just been having within like the last few weeks have been like kind of pushing on that point. Just in life, like in life and career, like it's just been like enforcing that feeling of like you good, like you got what you need. Like don't even worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like and like I said, not worrying about like a purpose, just worrying about more of like, is this making me happy? Is this like making me feel good? Like, do I feel good doing this? Going to the thing last night, that made me feel good and made me feel like I want to continue to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I want to continue to like just be in these type of spaces. So,
cause it seems like one of those things like you go to long enough, somebody be like, hey, I saw you last time.
Yeah.
I saw.
Like,
okay.
Like we regulars. Like this is what we do once a month.
What's your name? Cause I see you here all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then it'll just grow into.
It'll grow into something. It's just a relationship that you build. Like it's just it might be just like a colleague or just like a networking thing, you know what I'm saying? But after a while, it turns into a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Now you immersed in this community. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude, one of the dudes that we met, he was like, man, I've been here since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't even in tech, he was in real estate. And he was like, yeah, man, a lot of people that I met here, like I sold them houses. I like closed on houses for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, he was like, yeah, now one of them, you know, I adopted as like a nephew. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be coming here now.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like those type of things. It's like you never know what will grow or what you can build from these type of situations.
You never know what would be your next connection.
Exactly.
Just gotta put yourself out there, man.
You just got to.
You know, it's not always the easiest or most comfortable thing to do, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ain't go, cause I like stuff like that.
Yeah, that was really good. I was telling Ed when we were there, I was like, man, I really wish you would have came. Because you are naturally like, hey.
Cause I jump out there.
You would have navigated.
Yeah, especially like a drink or two, like it just, like you literally, like that's where you were.
Cause I would have jumped out there like, hey.
Yeah, like I see you with the green dot. Like that's the type of person that you are. Me and Ed are like more like a reserve. Like I said, we didn't go up to nobody. They all came up to us.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's just I definitely the next one you should definitely go to.
No, I'm coming. I'm coming.
You should definitely go to, like I said before, for the third time, suited, booted.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my little Sunday best.
And I'm staying the whole time.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm staying the
the
whole
whole
time.
time.
Yeah.
I like positive stuff like that, though. Man. That's good. Like I said, and to think, like I said, I was just like, originally when I looked at it, I was like, 35? I was like, Then I'm glad I just had that little internal. I was like, you spent 35 away.
Oh,
way less.
Way worse.
Way
They got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
They got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Cause I've been with you.
So, yeah, so I was
Hold down, Jacket.
Hey, chill out.
That's awesome. But
Chill out.
I'm telling y'all though, once the temperature drop, my goal this fall, winter, I'm gonna wear every jacket in my closet.
I just want you to take a picture.
I'm literally gonna document it. I'm gonna wear every jacket in my closet.
I need that.
It's gonna be pretty wild.
I've been trying to get a few of them off for you.
It's gonna be pretty wild, but I'm gonna wear every jacket.
You probably will end up selling some.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I'm gonna wear every jacket in my closet. Like I said, it's gonna take me probably all of fall, but like literally when I put
winter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I got some that can only be worn in winter, but I'm literally gonna wear every coat in my closet.
And I got some favorites. I can't wait to see those. I got some favorites.
It's some. I'm not gonna lie. I have quite a few that I've never worn before.
You gotta get the like the. You still got that jacket I gave you when we went snowboard? No.
Oh, the blue one?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like my winter. Yeah. You talking about like you got to pull up like about a 1/4?
Yeah. Cause we both had one.
I'm about to say, I've kind of been the same size forever, so I keep up with my stuff. So yeah, that's how I ended up accumulating so much stuff because I don't really get rid of much, and I ain't really grown. Cause some t-shirts don't fit when I was a medium. So I definitely still have it.
Oh man, that's a good one. But no man, shoot, outside of that. That's funny. That was like your weekly recap, but so we already here.
Oh, yeah, man, networking. That's why I said, like, honestly, too. I think that was important for me too. That it was such a positive experience because I was telling her tonight. I was like, man, like, I enjoyed that. Now I'm gonna like kind of start looking at. I'm like, man, let me see if they ever got like some like real estate mixers and stuff too. Because like they're like really like. It was such a good experience and stuff that now they're like opened my eyes to like, oh, okay, understand why people want to go with these.
Because I'd definitely be the person. I'm gonna go to lead with project manager, project coordinator. Tell you how I do that. I'm gonna tell you how I do that. You know what I mean?
And like I was telling him, like even the few times where he was kind of like he would tell people what he was doing, but he didn't really like get into it. He was just like, yeah, I'm just here to just like see what I can see or whatever. I was like, bro, project manager, you cannot feel with project management, bro.
You can talk that talk, bro.
Yeah, it's like, this is what I do.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Like, I set up stuff, I follow up, I like go and
handle projects. I work through backlogs. I work through tickets. Like if you got that,
Yes,
bro,
that's
come on.
yeah, but that's exactly what it is. Like
that's literally project management.
Bro, you got that. You got it.
you got it all the way. And so like, and once I said that, the next person that walked up, that's when he started saying it. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about going the project manager route, and he started talking about a little bit of SQL, and this is what I'm trying to do, and then I was like, see, there you go. Like that's what you do. Like just talk about something that, like, if you talk about what you know about it, that's really all you need. Because everybody there, especially at the time that we went, like everybody that was walking up to us was just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like some people already had jobs in and stuff like that, but you know, they all were like just trying to like figure out what they were there for.
And what's next.
You know what I'm saying? Or if anything was next. You know what I'm saying? Or just trying to hear what other people were into. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't want to be a project manager no more. Maybe I want to be a software engineer. How do I do that? And I always go into things like that, especially when I'm talking to somebody else that's in tech. It's like, I don't, you know, I talk to people that's in my industry all day, every day. But if I talk to people that do something different than I do in tech, I like ask them what they do. How do they get into it? Yeah. How do they start with it? If they were to start over, what would they do? Because maybe that's something that I would do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that would be easier for me. I can make a lot more money. Yeah. Like a big thing was like the cloud computing and DevOps. Like, I think we talked about that yesterday. It was like, I've heard about that a lot. Yeah. So what do I need to do? So the Nigerian guy that I had talked to, he was like, yeah, man, you just got to do this and you got to do that, and I don't think you just really need to know a lot of coding. You should just like take a 6 to 8 week course and just like kind of figure it out from there and just like work on some stuff. And I'm like, I don't know half of what you just said, but from what I do know, I might take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, just those interactions in general help kind of like help guide you in the way of like what you may or may not want to do.
Yeah, because my brother Earl said that sometimes he's like, okay, exactly what do you do? Like, wait, because they give you the title, but no, what do you do?
Yeah, like
what's your day today?
What's your day look like? Like, what do your day look like? Like
that sounds good, but let's get down to it.
Like one of the ladies walked up to us and she was a product analyst. I think her tag said. And she was like, yeah, you know, I work with this company. And I was like, well, I've heard of that company. I've tried to like get on at that company before because it's like a firm. It's like a contracting firm. So they, they do a lot of that type of stuff. They get contracted out and stuff like that. But I was like, what do you do? Like, what do you do there? And she was like, well, I do like a lot of project manager work, but I don't get paid like a project manager. I was like, see, now tell me more about that. Tell me more, because don't tell me it's a great company and I should apply. Tell me what you do and like really get down into the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's like those situations, and that's what I like, because everybody gonna give you that, especially if they're like not nervous, but if they're more like in a situation where like how we was in, was like, this is our first time, we just trying to like kind of figure it out, we ain't been here before. It's like, no, tell me more about like what you do on a day to day. That's gonna make you more comfortable, because you ain't gotta try to make it sound fancy so people think that you like know more than what you know.
Yeah, it's like, nah, you don't gotta do that.
Yeah, you ain't gotta do that. Like, and that's more of like the role that I play, is like, I can tell you about what I do, but let me like make you more comfortable and like really just tell me what it is that you do, because you ain't gotta do all of that fancy talk. Like, don't tell me about backlogs and this and that and this and that. It's like, no, who do you work with? Like, and she was like saying something about like, you know, I work on projects, or you can like work on these type of projects, that type of projects. And I was like, so do you get paid if you ain't got a project? You know what I'm saying? It's
I remember you asking that.
Yeah, it's like those type of things, but that makes people like feel more comfortable saying like, oh no, I don't, but you know, it's cool because I like
this. But it's okay,
but it's okay. It's this and it's that.
I'm going my skill set.
Exactly, like it's those type of things. So it's like, for me, like I tell people, I didn't meet anybody that was like in UX design. Every time I say I'm a UX specialist.
That's all right. I did not hear that not one time.
All. Like nobody. Yeah. Nobody. But whenever I talked about it, you know what I'm saying, people were like, what? You're a what? I was like, user experience design. Like I'm a specialist, web specialist or whatever. So interface, like everything on the interface, I design that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I know what that is. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, I work on everything on the front end. I just don't code it. And that's when they're like, okay, cool. So how does that work? And we get into that. And so, but a lot of times, like, I'm more, I want to hear about you. Where I know what I do on a daily basis, but let me more hear about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's where I flourish because I'm more of the type of person that's like, I want to know about what you do more than I want to hear myself talk about what I do on a daily basis.
Because I can learn from you.
Because I can learn from that. It may be an opportunity in that. You know what I'm saying? And if I can speak to any part of that, that's a conversation. That's a relationship that's going to be built.
Yeah.
So the next time I come here, I see you. Hey, we met the last time. Oh man, how's the job been doing? You're a software engineer, right? How's the bugs that you're like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, like whatever it is that you told me about the last time that we talked, I'm gonna ask you about that.
Right.
Are you still, if you working at the firm still, are you still like looking for another project? Like how is that? Like are they still not paying you as a project manager? Did they not like change their stuff? Like those are the type of things that I would like go to that for, and like I appreciate those situations. Yeah.
Really cool experience.
Yeah,
I learned a lot.
It was good. You should definitely go back.
Yeah.
Like when we go back, you should go back.
No,
It was definitely a good learning experience on a lot of different levels. It's like on a macro level, micro level.
Yeah. It was really good.
I'm gonna be in there.
Because like I said, I think that's like a thing for me too, just in general, learning how to talk about stuff I don't know nothing about. Because typically that's when I mute up. But it's like, it's a way that you can do that without
putting your foot in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially. Or acting like you know. Because I've, where we come from, I that's kind of what I didn't see most of my life. People just talking about something they really don't know nothing about.
But sometimes you just gotta jump out there.
That's me.
Sometimes you gotta just jump out there.
Just know how to navigate.
Yes, sir.
So it was, like I said, it was a good thing. And like I said, I feel like just in general, like I can say, I see the power in networking or just one of those type of events. Even if it don't lead to like a professional opportunity, just like the development of yourself personally that it can do. Especially like I say, like definitely like for us people that's more like introverted, reserved people, just like actually doing that. And then like I say, I feel like in those environments, it don't have the same type of anxiety attached to it because people come in there knowing that they gonna talk to people.
Right.
It ain't like it's just a random date. You out and about and somebody might be having a bad day and they don't want to talk. Like if you came to there, you had to pay to come there, you wanted to talk to people. And that's what I was telling her. I was like, oh, everyone's so open to conversation. Like nobody like
standoffish.
Or like, why are you talking to me? Like
and that put like he said that a lot, and that like kept putting it into perspective for me because like for me it was like, man, I don't really like want to just like randomly go up to people or like asking people for like their LinkedIn and like handing them my phone. I was like, man, that feel weird. You know what I'm saying? Like that feel like, hey, what's your LinkedIn? You know what I'm saying? Like what's your Instagram or your Snapchat? And he was like, but the thing is, people are here to like do that. Like that's what everybody's here for. So it's not as weird. So that kept like putting me back into a space where I was like, okay, it's cool. Like it's good. Like I'm not a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what I kept feeling like. I was just like, yeah, man, what's your LinkedIn, man? Let's link up. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But after the fact, I just felt like dirty. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I might say I felt out of place, but I didn't feel uncomfortable because it was like, yeah, that's what people here to do. Talk to people, essentially.
Yeah.
And then it's like paid, so it ain't like you just like
bystander.
Like, or you just stumble upon it. It's like, oh no, you paid to come in here to do this. So at this point, if you went through all that, you wanted to
do what you're here for.
Yeah. I will say though, around the time that we was leaving was around the time that we should stay, because I feel like that's where like, not to sound like I'm just like a shark, but that's when like the big money relationships start right there. Like,
man.
that's when the people who like high up, been in the industry for a while.
But
Like,
they
they
have
might
a
be
good
senior.
time. They have a
Hey,
good
Yeah, I'm
time.
about to say, yeah, them the ones that they ain't, yeah, they just
Yeah,
fuck
we
good
when we
time
first
type
pulled
stuff.
up, it was like a lot of Hondas and Toyotas being valet. Look, it was a lot of Hyundais and stuff being valet. Hey, when we was leaving, I seen that big body Benz pull up to get valet, AMG.
Ooh.
Hey, I seen a
Teslas,
G-Wagon, I seen a
yeah.
Tesla, hey man, I was like, okay, this is when I need to be walking up there.
This when the show started.
Yeah, this one.
This
I was like,
when
okay.
the show started.
I was like, yeah, okay. Next time, like I said, I was doing my little like no liquor and no alcohol situation this whole month. So yesterday it was still August, so I didn't drink or nothing. But next time, I'm gonna have me like a drink or two, loosen up, get back into my like social butterfly situation. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of like work the room. And I'm gonna have a suit on for the 4th time. So I'm really, hey.
You know, they say, you know, you look good, you feel good.
Oh yeah.
Feel good,
Oh,
you
yeah.
play good.
You feel good, you play good, man. And
Yeah.
people, you know what I'm saying? If you feel good
I'm
and you exuding that, people like gravitate.
I'm about to say naturally, yeah, you gotta suit up.
Like what you do? You know
So
what
we
I
need
mean?
to have a conversation. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
hello.
How you doing?
yeah.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
I'm
good.
probably gonna have all black on.
Like I said, I'm gonna just be way more comfortable next time, knowing that everybody like pretty friendly and warm and stuff. So it's just gonna be a different dynamic. And like I said, I'm gonna do what they do. I'm gonna work with your group.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna tell me what they do. I'm gonna ask questions. Yeah, and then like it was a name tag too, because you know I'm not the best with names, but I can read.
Yeah. And like I said, I gotta get back into that. Like, let me like say your name. Like, oh, I'm this and that. Because a lot of times, especially now, bro, most of the time when you meet people, you ain't gonna see them again. So like whenever I hear people's name, I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I don't really call their name, but now I'm like, oh, Stephanie, all right, hey, how you doing, Stephanie? Like,
Right.
Stephanie, this is my friend. Like, this is like that's where I'm gonna like be with it. Like, I'm actually gonna put more attention into doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be there, so I'm gonna jump out there.
Yeah, please be there.
I jump out there. I'll jump out there just for y'all.
I'm about to say I feel like we'll be a force, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure, for sure.
Okay. I like that. Man. I'm glad y'all went.
Good time.
Me too. Cause remember the first time I was supposed to go, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And make it up.
Yeah, man. I was like, and that's like I was like, man, yeah, it's my first time. But I was supposed to come whenever it was like downtown, but it was like the hockey championship weekend or the same day as like one of the championship games, and it was across the street from American Airlines Stadium.
So it was deep.
It was deep. So the valet was like literally the valet for the game and for.
Them Stars games a big deal. And they actually made it to the playoffs, so that made it in a playoff game.
It was a playoff game. It wasn't a championship game, but it was a playoff game.
They made it.
It was
And
a
they were
big
like
deal.
deep into the playoff,
Mhm.
and so it was like super packed. So even like like 3 blocks away, they had a parking lot, and even that parking lot was like.
You know Dallas is a transplant city, so it's a hockey community. Actually, my boss from Dallas, so, from Denton, he's a hockey fan. They got season tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because I was like, I know they played the Knights and they lost, but
They
they
did.
made it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it was a big deal for people. So yeah, man, it was good. It was good, man. I like that being in environments like that, man. It definitely helped me grow and it opened my eyes. And that's all I want in life, man. Just to continue to grow and my eyes keep getting open more and more. You know, so I like this.
Yeah, for sure.
It was really good. But yeah, man, this, like I say, networking, man. It's,
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Pause. Open your mouth. Hashtag open your mouth. Open your mouth. You
Closed
never.
mouths don't get fed.
I was about to say something that was so trash.
but yeah, there we
I was
go.
about to say something that was so crazy. Episode 1, 2.
Yeah, it's an episode.
Because you'll never know what come from.
Yeah, you really don't. You just never know. You really never know.
Open your mouth, cause you never know what.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh
But
my
anyway,
God.
Anyway.
But yeah, but this has been episode 123. The Transferable Experience podcast.
We getting to that time.
You know, like always, remember to do all the things on all the things. What are we going to the new month? September.
Yeah.
We here.
Yeah, man. Good intention to see your month.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the temperature should be dropping. You know, it's so hot that the 90s feel cool.
Yeah.
Like it legitimately feels cool when we got a 90-degree day.
Hey, but it's just not regular, bro. It hasn't rained in over a month.
You know what was
Almost
so crazy? I went to go hike last weekend, and I typically go in the morning, but I was gonna go do something afterwards on that side of town, so I purposely was gonna make it. For like, I purposely went like around noonish, and it was so hot that they like closed the trail for a heat advisory. And to make it wilder, because I've been going to this trail for years at this point, I can confidently say I've been at least 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't go Saturday because they shut it down for the heat advisory. I came back that Sunday, and when I was hiking it Sunday, I literally ran into somebody that was passed out on the trail. Luckily, they had 2 other adults with them, like 4 or 5 kids. So when I came, just being a good Samaritan, that I am, I said, hey, is there anything I can do?
Yeah.
Because somebody was already on the phone,
Yeah.
with the ambulance, and it was like, well, do you have any food? It's like, just got water.
They actually ain't any food.
Yeah. I don't know if it could have been diabetic.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Sugar,
something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I figured it was a reason, but I was like, just my water.
Yeah.
Okay, we're already on the phone, so we'll be fine.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, like I said, it was just a true testament though of how hot it truly is, because I've been there, like I said, at least 100 times. Seen people lost many a times, but passed out, and like I don't mean like hunched over, like kind of no, literally laying down,
Yeah.
like unconscious, like passed out. And I was like, yeah, it's really hot. And I was saying too, like, to be honest with you, because I always implore people to just start, no matter what. It don't really matter what level you at. But I will say, if you're not used to just working outside or just being outside in general, this not the time to start being outside in this heat.
No.
You got to be kind of like used to the heat somewhat. Because me, the irony is I had on a hoodie and sweatpants, but I'm true to this, not new to this. Like I be outside, so this additional heat I feel a little bit, but I'm not as phased. I got a good sweat going, but like I don't think this is the time to just start being outside doing stuff for miles if you're not used to being outside. Because like I said, or like you gotta kind of strategically wait for the temperature to.
You gotta walk yourself into it.
Yeah, because it's too hot right now for like novices to be dealing with that.
Yeah.
That's like if you ain't benched in 3 years and you instantly start off at 315.
Yeah.
You gotta work up.
Your sweatpants crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your sweatpants.
Oh no, I had a good sweat. I was comfortable. But like I say, but
used to that.
I'm just saying as a declaration.
Yeah, like I said, I just typically train like work out, so like I'm used to. So like for me, it's a little bit more sweat, but it ain't like.
I don't like stuff over my knees.
Now when I run, at this point, because when I run, either the most I'll do is a hoodie, or I just won't wear a hoodie at all. But yeah, if I'm lifting weights and stuff, or just walking, because for me, like I said, I'm used to it, so. It's just walking to me. It's miles, but it's walking. So
yeah, I was about to say working out, like lifting. I'm full, like head to toe covered up. Like that's me. Like I just like to. It just makes me feel like more like. It sounds weird, but it makes me feel like more of a savage.
It
like,
can be more
got
of a
hood
mode.
on.
Yeah,
like I got my headphones in. I probably got a hat on. I put my hood on, and I'm just like in my own like.
It helps with my intensity.
Yeah.
I need my knees free. I do.
Okay.
I need my knees.
At least you know that.
I mean, I've been.
Now when I run,
I do
like my knees free.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I don't know. I do a 5 minute.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
This has been episode 123 at Transferable Experience Podcast. Like always, remember to do all the things and all the things. And again, happy birthday to my brother Earlton.
Happy birthday, brother.
We'll see you on next week.